we find the dollar sign, or what looks like the dollar sign, but that sign was originally known as a scourge. Now, if you look up the word scourge in a dictionary, it will tell you that it is a whip or a bond or a lash for brutalizing and keeping people in order, for keeping slaves in order. The scourge of the worlds. Now, the reptilians that possess and control many of the corrupt world leaders who engage in pedophilia and ritual murder for the same reason. Having access to precise genealogical records, they know who to seek out as victims, those innocent that are of the Lemurian bloodline specifically. This is the answer to much of what lies behind the exposés of Cathy O'Brien, Arizona Wilder, Bryce Taylor, and others who have come forth to reveal what they have seen and experienced behind the corridors of power. The hybrid reptilians were created to seek out and destroy the Lemurians on behalf of their alien masters. This was like their day job. This process has not ceased in ancient times, but still goes on today. Now we come full circle to examine what has happened more distinctly in our own times. We don't have time in one presentation or even in a series of presentations to delineate and examine every single machination of these entities in the last 11,000 years. But we can look at a few that are specific to our own times. Now, when the pursuers of the Nephilim destroyed the planet Tiamat, they made haste to leave our solar system to avoid the cosmic upheavals created by their action. However, for some reason, they took extraordinary precautions to prevent their enemies, should they be still alive on our planet, from ever leaving. They erected a powerful energy barrier around our entire planet. This enveloping shield still exists, and no one on Earth can physically break through or go beyond it. Now, earlier we saw that the Nephilim arrived on our planet not by their own free will. They arrived here approximately 50,000 years ago, and the subsequent pole shift and the War of the Gods occurred about 13,005 years from our present age. Now, the Nephilim arrived in our solar system after being expurged from their own planetary systems, wherever those may be. I tend to think that that was Draco, the constellation of Draco, or Alpha Draconis perhaps. They arrived here not of their own free will, and the pursuers, after destroying Tiamat, had to make haste to leave, because we don't drive our car through an earthquake by choice, do we? But before they left, they erected a membrane and etheric barrier around our Earth, just as a quarantine measure, in order to make sure that just in case the Nephilim, their hated nemesis, were on this planet, that they could never again leave to spread their evil elsewhere in the galaxy or the universe. That barrier is the true Stargate. So when we hear about that term, the Stargate, we should realize that it also has historical precedence, and it's up there. A shield or a barrier around the Earth, and the mythologies talk about it. The ancient scriptures talk about this barrier around the Earth. It's part technology, but it's also part etheric energy, far in advance of our own science today. In the Pistis Sophia, one of the most ancient Gnostic texts, it says, "The outer darkness is a huge dragon, whose tail is in its mouth." And that was the symbol that has come down to us from